The voiceover is done by Joey Vignola and the drawing were made by Jade White. The Greek independence revolution was one of the biggest turning points in Greek history. It was the war that allowed for Greeks to live separately from the Turks. The Greeks were very artistic people that had a great deal of accomplishments, some including cartography, Western theater, and even the invention of the alarm clock. The Ottoman Empire was one of the strongest and one of the longest lasting empires in the world. They made many advances in technology such as advancements in astronomy, medicine, and mathematics. Of course, leading up to the revolution, there were many issues that influenced the Greeks to turn against the Ottoman Empire. In the 15th century, the Ottomans had conquered Greece and they became a part of the empire. Although they had an oppressive rule over the Greeks, the Ottomans provided heavy taxes and religious suppression. This outraged the Greeks. They hated that the Ottomans were suppressing their religion and trying to forcefully convert them to Christianity, and even going as far as raising taxes just for the Greeks in order to get them to submit to their rule. When beginning the revolution, Alexander Ypsilantis had stood up and gathered a battalion to stand against the Ottoman rule. They crossed over the Prat River and set up near there. Soon after this, though, the battalion was defeated. But this inspired many Greeks to take a stand against the Ottoman Empire. The Greeks began to express their desire to leave the empire through propaganda. One of the slogans used throughout the revolution was "Freedom or Death." This slogan was basically saying that if the Greeks couldn't obtain their own freedom, it would mean the death of their people as a whole, and the death of the idea of the Greeks, because they were being forced into submission. This inspired many more Greeks to rise up and gather into groups in order to fight against the empire. One of these was led by Theodoros Kolokotronis. Soon after the group was formed, though, a war broke out between Theodoros and Georgios Kontoritos. Theodoros overpowered Georgios easily, and Georgios was forced to flee to Hydra Island. Seeing the victory scared the Ottomans, they decided to ask the Egyptians for help. The Egyptians sent a fleet out in order to help them. After the Egyptians were called in for support, the Greeks decided to try and mediate between the Greeks and the Ottomans, basically a peace treaty. The Ottomans refused. In turn, the Greeks asked the British, Russian, and French naval fleets for help. All three of those fleets were sent out as support for the Greeks. They quickly destroyed the Egyptian fleets, which severely weakened the Ottomans. Even though this was, war still raged on. After another couple years of fighting, the British helped them come to an agreement to stop the war and allow the Greeks to live to be independent. This was the best outcome that allowed for the Greeks to prosper as a civilization. They went on to be a prominent figure in history, even still having a state of their own to this day.